Boy, oh boy. Let me try sort the stream out first. Can't log in. Let me try something else. I think I'm only live on YouTube, if I'm right. Not on Twitter. Okay. That's not nice. Is there anybody in the chat? Let me just check my own stream, see if I can hear myself. It's been a long time since I've done any live streaming, really. Okay, let me check. And then I'll get to talking about what happened, really, over the past few months. Okay, let me try here myself. Okay, seems to be working. I guess I'll trim the initial part of it. Wow, boy oh boy, it's been quite a journey. So, about 6 months ago, I decided to do something really crazy. So I was a Lovable user at that time, and I was getting frustrated with lack of a few features, especially when Cursor came out with a lot of nice, good stuff. And I was like, okay, why can't we have this kind of things on Lovable? And a lot of people would agree with me, because when I was interviewing other Lovable customers, I actually went ahead and went through their feedback platform. Lovable used to have a feedback platform that was, I think, feedback.lovable.dev, and there were a lot of people voicing a lot of concerns about a lot of different features that they would love to see, or like a lot of issues they were having about having to always to guide the prompt too much, and things would Lovable would forget a lot of things in terms of what has been implemented that far. So I gathered all that feedback. I interviewed customers. I literally just I was messaging them on Discord. I was messaging them on emails, asking them, "Hey guys, what do you lack in a vibe coding platform?" And mind you, that was back like 6-7 months. 6-7 months ago. It was around June, late May, early June. So what happened during that time? Once I've gathered all the feedback, I had a very sort of crazy idea, and instead of just trying to go and create another thread on the Lovable's feedback platform, what I've done was I said, okay, I've got 10 years of software engineering experience. I've been a tech lead before. I've been writing code since I was 7. Yes, a lot of bragging, self-bragging, sorry. But that's sort of the background, so it makes sense to what I'm trying to say. So my crazy idea was to sort of let me build a Lovable or like V0 or some like Bolt alternative, yeah, like a competitor of all the features and things that people have been requesting for months but have not been getting that actually implemented or working. And sorry, I'm just checking. Cool. And what happened was I spent all that time building and reiterating, and I've built a lot of features and a lot of stuff that people were asking for. So you would have things like chat modes. I mean, on Lovable, the only thing you have at the moment, even to this time, is you have the chat mode and the build mode, and that's it. Whereas on App2, you could have various agents working for you in a very easy UI UX way. And I'm not sure if I can actually show that. Let me open app2.dev. So if I share my screen here, so here are some of the features that I've actually built. So one of the most prominent ones was chat mode. So let me zoom that in. So as you can see here, you can choose between build, plan, review, debug, documentation. And this was like a few months before Lovable even came up with the chat mode, like sort of the enhanced chat mode feature. So what I'm trying to say is that, again, I went through loads and loads of feedback from Lovable customers, from V0 customers. I was messaging them. I was asking them, hey guys, what's your biggest pain point? What do you guys like? What's your problem? Like, what would you like to see that is not there and that you've been begging for? And pretty much this whole set of features that I've built on App2 is exactly, well, aside from maybe a couple of really obvious ones, is exactly what people were looking for. So I spent the last 6 months doing that. And the thing is, it's fine to talk about it, and it's fine to get some, let's say, feedback and and write a nice piece of text and say, hey guys, or make a video and say, oh, hey, it would be nice if Lovable could do this and that. But it's an entirely different thing to go ahead and say, okay, I'm impressed by what Lovable has achieved and by what other platforms have achieved, but I want to try and, let's say, light some fire under the industry's buttocks, so to speak. I just wanted to prove that as a solo developer, there are people brighter than me that can actually deliver and do things customers want and use in a very short period of time. So if I could do it as a solo dev, surely a big company can actually do it in a matter of, let's say, weeks. But there's a different point here. I mean, I build things like chat sessions. So you know how you just have a single chat area where you always type things on let's say Lovable, yeah? And you lose your context there, the context gets worse, and it's a bit difficult to keep track of everything you've chatted if you just have a single session. So one of the biggest problems that Lovable customers have had and were complaining about was, well, literally, let me have multiple chat conversations so I can instruct it to do things I want. And that's exactly what was built, and that's exactly what over 400 users on App2 were using as early access customers. So you could organize your pretty much your sessions by a lot of different things, and you can also have context switch between them, and you can pass context to other chats. So it's taking the best parts of, say, Cursor, best parts of Windsurf, best parts of everything, as well as the feedback that customers really have had. And there was a lot of feedback. I'm not sure if the website is still live. It should be feedback.lovable.dev. I don't think it's there anymore. But if you use the Wayback Machine, you'll read that it's all there. It's all, I have an archive of it. Like literally hundreds of people talking about things that were not working on, well, not making sense to them. And to get to the point, like all this was stemming from people's feedback. Yeah. So you could get predictive prompting. So let's say you have been interacting with the chat, agent and you want to build something and you're out of ideas, or you just want to know what to do next, it would actually come and give you the next steps. And you press that and converts it to an LLM friendly prompt behind the scenes, and it runs it. It's very ubiquitous, it's very easy. Same for the prompt enhancement, some quick actions. You had file browser, context reference, which this would allow you to use. If you have used Cursor, you are probably familiar with the tagging system, or what I call it, the context reference system. You use the @mention syntax. So you just mention files, you mention rule sets, and you do that. Imagine having that power on Lovable and being able to do all that. And also, you can have sandbox and live previews, so you have separated staging and production environments, and you can do things. It's been all things that have been requested by many people, and I've been implementing that, really. And the thing is, once I concluded sort of the early access, once I released it on Product Hunt, I got like 400, almost 400 users who have been hammering and giving feedback and working in it, and were like, wow, I wish Lovable had this, I wish V0 had that, and so on. So it was good feedback. So I was like, okay, I've built this, right? I tried to raise some investment just to see if there could be, if my assumption of, oh, okay, the market is a bit saturated is true. I've spoken to like a couple of investors, VCs, and well, the market is actually getting a bit saturated. Like you have like Orchids, you have V0, you have like another shipper. It was another guy on X that recently released their own vibe coding platform. Very good job. That guy has done a very good job as well. But essentially, most of the platforms that are on the market don't really have this sort of features that Aptu did, because my whole thing was to do research and to build what is the gap in the market right now, and that's what I've done. So I applied. I applied to join Lovable as a forward deployed engineer. Yeah. So if you go on Lovable careers, they have a job called forward deployed engineer. Yeah. So let me just scroll down to it. Let me pick the mouse. It's easier this way. So for the forward deployed engineer, this is the spec list. This is what they are looking for. And based on what I have shown you so far here, what I've built with Aptu, like all these features, doing all the research, talking to people, talking to their customers, and all that kind of stuff. I believe this role would have been perfect to just, if anything, if not even getting the job, it would be just interesting to conversate, to say, to have sort of a conversation, yeah, with another human being, to tell them that, oh, I've interviewed literally your customers, I have the whole research here, I've built this platform to validate everything that these customers have been experiencing as pain points from your platform. And now all I'm asking from you is, can you guys interview me, and can I maybe come work with you and bring everything from Aptu and help you build a better platform and be part of the building process? So that's what I did. And let's just go through the role. So I really went through the application just to make sure that this is a role that would be the most relevant one. So what they are essentially looking for is to be a founding member of their FDE function, which is forward deployed engineering function, to work directly with most ambitious customers to translate impossible ideas into real products. So given just by this TLDR description, yeah, and given what I have been doing for the past 6 months, which is literally me going through their customer, sitting down with their customers, asking them questions, and finding out what gaps are in the market. Just going off the description, this is what I've done, and I'm not even related to. I mean, I haven't even worked at Lovable, so I just went through my own frustrations and my own and other frustrated Lovable customers, and I just built what I believed was a gap in the market. And truly, if you see, I can show you all the research I've done, maybe in a different stream, because this one should be a bit short. I need to open source this bad boy. So all this is going to become open source. By the way, guys, what I'm talking about, because after getting that rejection letter, I'm just like, fuck this. I'm just going to open source this. So I went through all this with Lovable customers, V0 customers, so on and so forth, and I built all of this functionality. Everything you see here has been tested and worked by, interacted with by hundreds of users. So it's gotten its validation. So I was like, okay, let me apply to Lovable. Let me say, okay, let me bring all the up to features, because they are something that your own customer base is expecting. And at the very least, if I don't get the job for whatever reason, at the very least, I can just have a conversation. Yeah, at least maybe a 20, 30-minute conversation with someone at Lovable and maybe share some insights and experience. Yeah. And as you can see here, what makes this role special is that they're looking for the first forward deployed engineer. They're looking for somebody who is at the intersection of engineering, product, customer success, and research. So I've done the engineering bit. I've created a whole product that got traction and revenue. The customer success is like people paying $400, but I had some people pay $400 for up to. And I've done all the research. So, if there's a box to tick, in relation to, let's say, okay, let's filter through who would be a suitable candidate to interview, I guess this would check off, purely because I've literally built a fucking startup on the whole thing, based on the whole thing. So, partner with customers building never seen before AI systems. And that's the thing, what I've done here. I've built things like chat modes, and which have its own dedicated AI agents running behind the scenes that work and do crazy good stuff. Rule sets, like something that no other platform has at the moment. You have rule sets that allows you to set up the guidelines, how agents interact with each other, and so on. And you can just do it in a very nice and easy UI, UX. You got even... you have project templates, you can build web mobile apps, you can build rocket ships, just build stuff. It doesn't matter. You have things like prompt enhancement, predictive prompting, file browsers, very nice file browser, very, very nice file browser thing. So I guess partnering with customers, that was the whole base. That's what I started in June. That's what I was working on. And build product features based on real world behaviors and emerging patterns. And that goes back again to the whole feedback session and all the questionnaires I've sent, all the people I've hundreds of people I've interviewed, and I've asked and I've researched hundreds of people with their problems across various vibe coding platforms. But mostly from Lovable, because that was my initial target market. I was just going through their feedback platform and seeing what people lacked. And obviously, the other bit here is to influence our core product direction and technical roadmap. Well, that goes without saying when you're the solo founder and the solo developer of a vibe coding platform that you build sort of a competitor to prove your point, because at this the way the market is nowadays, it doesn't make sense. But you literally have to go build a startup as a competitor to try to get a job at that place, and they will still reject you through AI filters, or maybe, I don't know. So what they are looking for for 5 years of experience building and shipping full stack products. I guess I've been working for 10 years as a software engineer. I started when I was 18. You can do the math, how old I am now. So I've got the experience. I've built a fintech before, so it's there. Proficiency in modern front end and robust backend development. I just built another Lovable with extra features that people didn't have in Lovable. So it's sort of self-explanatory in a way. And the next one is strong architectural thinking. I think I still have my notepads here. I have like 3 of these that I have notes, and my Apple Notes is there, and my Notion is there. And if you guys read that, I'll make some of it public. I'll open source some of it so you can make your own like decisions and understandings of what you want to do. But the ability to rapidly prototype, experiment, and learn from real usage. Well, I mean, if there's one thing I could have probably done to prove this, would be to actually rebuild not just the core functionality of Lovable, but also the other good and nice bits that Lovable didn't have that stemmed from their own customers' experience and feedback. And obviously exceptional product intuition, ability to work directly with users, yada, yada, yada. I mean, I'm just trying to, I'm going over the same point. The thing is, 0 to 1 product development is like, if you go through every single checkbox of what is expected in this role, you will probably say, okay, this guy probably hits a few of those boxes. Let's give the guy a chance to talk to him. Yeah. So if you read here, yeah, sure, I didn't work with Rust, so I haven't worked with Rust on this one. It would take a lot of more time. But I have worked with other things like Grafana and Terraform and so on. But so you see, this is how they hire, and that's a very usual hiring process, and that's fine. So the first step is to fill out a short form and hop on a brief intro call with the recruiting team. Now, what made me actually start this live stream and change the project to open source and like do a whole lot of crazy stuff and change my direction with how App2 is going to go was this here. Let me show you. So I applied like a few weeks ago. I don't remember exactly how many, maybe 3 weeks ago. I sent the application form for that particular role. Assuming, based on what I have built so far and what I have done, I believe that it should have warranted at least an interview. Yeah, at least an intro call with the hiring team or something, yeah? Just to talk about things. So I got this email 12th of December. So today's 14th, so a couple of days ago. And yesterday I just made an announcement that, guys, we're going open source. So I'm not sure if somebody actually reviewed the application or if there was any AI filter, because when you go to apply, when you hit the application button here, where's the apply for this job, it asks you for your resume and also asks you, why do you want to join Lovable? What makes you a great fit? What is the most impressive thing you've done in your career? Is there anything else you would like you'd like us to know about you? So I filled all of this with my own words. I didn't use any. I usually don't just use ChatGPT to write things. I can write this by myself. If I can make this live stream, I can actually fill out this fields and explain pretty much my reasoning and why I want to join, what I have done. So I've explained here everything that I've gone through this live stream so far, maybe a bit more. And I've hit this submit button. So 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know how many. Well, it was more than 2 weeks. They pass by and I get this letter. I get this email in the morning and it says, thank you for your interest in forward deployed engineer role at Lovable and for taking the time to apply. With so many talented applicants in consideration, we've made the difficult decision to not move forward with your application at this time. We are genuinely impressed by your background and appreciate your interest in joining your team. So, to conclude, this begs the question. Was my application even reviewed by a human being? That's question number 1. And if it was, I don't understand the reasoning behind. I'm not talking about being rejected after having at least an intro call. I would have understood that because I could have just talked and interacted with a human being. But not to be able to even have a conversation with, I wouldn't even say Lovable is a competitor in a sense, because I've built the whole thing of app just to prove a point. Mostly. I mean, I did try to raise some investment just to see would that work, but my initial expectations were incredibly low, and I know that there's dozens of these like Lovable alternatives out there. They're mostly quite the same in terms of how they work and look. Most of them have used like maybe a derivative of another open source project or something like that, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to open source anyway. But back to the question, like, has this even been reviewed? Like, did a human being actually go in, read that application? If so, I don't understand the rationale, right? You have a person who builds sort of your competition, has done the research for you, that person has done, I'm talking to myself in third person, that person has done like loads of things, yeah, to identify not just what your customers like and what's the gap in the market, but also bring it all together. And then that person applies for an engineering role that you open up. Of course, I mean, if the concern here was, oh, what if you join Lovable and you also do up to? Well, obviously I wouldn't be doing up to and Lovable at the same time. It doesn't make sense. The whole thing here, and I included it in the cover letter, would be that, okay, guys, look here. I've done 6 months of this experiment. I took 6 months of my time to research your customer base, find out their pain points, build what they need, what they lacked. I've heard all this research, I've got all this code that I've written, all these features that I built. I've got the traction. That means the people who were having the pain points are actually using it and they like it. So I apply for one of your job listings and for a role that I believe objectively, if you read and you see what I've done and you read the job role description, you would sort of realistically think, okay, there's about, let's say, more than 60% match between what this guy has done and what we expect for somebody to be doing in that kind of role. So I don't know what else to say, guys. Really, I don't know what else to say. Like, there's no world in which, if I applied and got into this role, I would keep app2 as a side house. Like, it's obvious. Like, if there's any sort of concern that, oh, this guy is not going to be it's like the whole reason this whole thing was built was to prove a point, help the industry, and I don't want to divide the industry. Like, say, okay, let me build let me make a number 20th vibe coding platform that you can, and let everyone pay hundreds of credits for 20 different platforms. What I tried to do is, like, I just wanted to prove a point, yeah? So I really don't get it. I don't know what else to say. I mean, like, all of this are things that, all of these features, especially the Figma 2 mobile app, which is a bespoke integration, all of this is directly coming from addressing people's feedback. I don't know. So let me change the subject a bit. I guess that concludes me getting rejected by Lovable, building something to prove that Lovable had a few shortfalls and applying to them to join them, to help them out, and not even getting the courtesy of even an interview. So I guess the job market is that bad for a software engineer with 10 years of experience. being rejected by a company that you build you're building a startup for to prove that you want to apply for a job. That was the craziest bloody idea I had in my mind, but I guess it didn't work out the way that I expected. But putting that aside, App2 is going open source. So I guess if Lovable doesn't want it, I would have given it them for free, like just hire me and I'll work there and I'll bring everything I've done from App2 and I'll say, yay, let's do something great. I don't know if, to be fair, on Lovable side, they probably get hundreds of applications, but at the same time, if there's an AI filtering system, that AI filtering system sucks, okay? I just have to say, if there's an AI filtering system that goes through the application says, oh, this guy doesn't have what it takes, probably not a good candidate, get rid of that AI. I mean, if you use that AI filtering system, get rid of it. It did a big mistake. But if it was genuinely reviewed by a human being, then I'm sorry, but I don't understand. Like, can we even have just a conversation? I mean, at the very least, let's talk, yeah, and see, maybe I can do something, or I don't know. That's fine. So, concluding that bit, App2 is becoming open source. So, all the features that you've seen here, the Figment mobile app, prompt-based, well, that one, everyone has it, but chat sessions, chat modes, rule sets, all that, like the whole platform is becoming open source. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for me? For you, it means that you can now bring your own ChatGPT and Claude subscription. So that means you don't need to be paying for any credits, yeah? Because, well, you already pay for your ChatGPT subscription and you also pay for your Claude subscription. So you might as well use the subscriptions and just have a better web-based UI to build what you want to build. So you save money. Simple as that. Open source, it also means that the whole code base, well, aside from, I guess, the pricings and all that, but the core code base is becoming open source. So you can now build things on top of it, or take it and create your own Lovable and run it on your own computer. You can do it. It's going to be licensed with Apache 2.0 license, which means that I do own the App2 trademark, but effectively you can just use the exact same code base I use and go build your own competitor. So it's going to be fully open source. And another thing, very important, is that there's going to be changes in the pricing. I mean, since this is open source, like you can run local versions of it. If you want, you can deploy it yourself. You can do everything you want to do. That's fine. The pricing of the actual App2.dev is going to change. And I'm not sure to what exactly yet, but it will be more towards having a cloud-based solution and catering towards more like enterprise clients, which shouldn't affect you really because, well, you can just run a Docker container of App2 code base and you can have your own Lovable running on your own system and use your own subscription and do whatever you want. And finally, this is, I guess, well, it's a tricky situation because the entire purpose of this was to try and, I wouldn't say really impress per se, but I was just trying to show that, okay, you need somebody for a new role. That role is the first role of its kind in the company. That role is all about taking initiatives, doing things, talking with customers, building what they want. Like we saw the description, yeah? We saw the career description here. I'm just talking in circles for some latecomers. So the description here is very clear. You work directly with most ambitious customers, translate their impossible ideas into products. That's the TLDR. So you create new things, you ask what people want, you build these things, you do this, you do that, and everything, yeah? So this is what I've done. And I've done it. I've tried to take it to the next level. But yeah, I guess. Sorry, let me sip a cup. I need to clear my throat. So I guess I've tried to do all this before applying, so that I'm not just another candidate with a resume on their system. Yeah, I mean, if you own a company and somebody comes and builds a better version of what sort of you have at that time, and they come to you and they tell you, "Hey man, I just want to work for you. I like you can have everything I've built, and here's all the feedback, but I want to apply for this job." Like you would at least talk to the person, or you wouldn't say, "I'm sorry, I decided to move with another candidate without even doing." I'm not sure this. I'm not sure this has been done by a human being. I think this was an AI filtering system that probably failed massively at parsing and understanding what happened. Because if it's not AI filtering, if it's really genuinely somebody at Lovable who would say no to hiring a person who just went through your whole customer base, spent 6 months interviewing them and building what they want, what they lacked, and identify gaps in the market, and they came and they present to you, here, that's my Christmas gift right here. There you go. You can have it. It's all yours. It's not like any of this was proprietary, right? I mean, the code base was not obviously open source at that point, but the platform was there. Everything was there. I was getting the traction and people were joining. So if somebody comes to you with like, here, have it. I would like to work for you and help you make this even better, and I can prove to you that I have what it takes, and then you send this, and you don't even give the person the chance to even have a talk with the hiring team, which is even one of the first steps. So to not even reach step one of the interview, like not even to conclude step one without any brief intro with the recruiting team, I mean, like, come on now. Like, what is expected of people to do in the industry in 2025, 2026 for software engineers? I'm talking about software engineers, yeah? Like, what is the barrier to entry? I have to ask. If it, so, sorry, I'm just so baffled, but I'm trying to make it sound reasonable, or trying to find reason in this. Sorry, just reading chat. Sorry guys, give me a moment. Yeah, so I'm just trying to understand. What does it take? The question is simple. What does it take for a software engineer candidate to secure an interview? Yeah? It's like resume. I guess I've for my resume. I just downloaded my LinkedIn CV and I've sent it. I filled out the other bits and that's it. Was that a mistake? It's not like I have shit ton of things on my LinkedIn. It's just my work history. So maybe the AI filter didn't tick boxes. Oh, he knows CSS, he knows HTML, yeah, or something like that. Yeah. So I don't know if the AI filtering systems are not good enough or something like that, or if it's genuinely somebody who read the application and decided, okay, that guy doesn't deserve time of day to have a chat with. So I guess I will leave it up to you guys to sort of tell me, what does it take in 2025, 2026, coming very soon, to actually secure a job in the software engineering industry? Yeah. I don't know. because apparently going ahead and doing a 6 months unofficial internship in a way for another company without them knowing, then applying to that company is not gonna give you like the time of day. Fuck yeah. All right, so yeah, back to the good stuff. Again, Up2 is going open source. I'm gonna try have it out by Christmas, so that everyone can have a very nice Christmas gift. So you can run your own sort of Lovable alternative open source in your own thing. I'm getting like hundreds of people signing up on this nice wait list here. So, and all the existing customers, they'll have a cloud-based alternative from Q1 2026. So whoever has joined so far, they were part of the early access. There's a little bug here. If you scroll up a bit, no, I can't scroll. Anyway, here it says early access. It was in early access. So Up2 will become open source very soon, and from Q1 2026, there's going to be a pricing structure change, probably a bit more favorable. And you can bring your own keys. You can use your own ChatGPT and Claude subscriptions like you normally would when running it on open source and locally. That means you get all the benefits of what you would normally use from Lovable, V0, and so on in terms of the UI. You get all those benefits plus more, even more, maybe with more people joining to use the open to help contribute to the open source, get even more features. I myself have a few ideas I can add to the open source version that will be available very soon. Like at the end of the day, you don't really have to pay for any credits, and I mean, if that's what it takes to go as the next step, I guess that's it. Yeah, and that's the sort of little story of all about how Up2 turned upside down. No, I'm just joking. So, yeah. But the question still stands at the end of the day. What does it take to actually get hired in the industry? Yeah, what do you need to do? Like, I guess that's pretty much it. All right, the time is 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna get back to doing some restructuring work for Up2 to get it ready for being open sourced. I might come on live a bit later in the afternoon, and yeah, I wish you a very happy Sunday and all the festivities. My wife and I, we decorated the Christmas tree yesterday. It was very fun. So yeah. Thank you for joining. For some reason, my stream on X didn't really work that much, but hopefully I'll fix it by this afternoon. Then I'll come back live and we'll be building, like we'll be working on open sourcing Up2. Thank you very much for joining or watching this video if you are coming from the video side of things. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.